Hello, hello. This is Abigail Borello with Sparkle and Shine Guidance, and I wanted to talk about this new moon in Aquarius. We have a new moon on February 4th. It's at 1:03 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's at 15 degrees of Aquarius. So it's really important to know your houses in astrology. Now, we all have 12 houses in astrology. All of us do. And we all have all of the zodiac signs in those 12 houses. It's kind of like we're on planet Earth, right? And if you expand out in all directions, you're going to have constellations below the Earth. You're going to have constellations above the Earth. And we really want to know where, when you were born, was the constellation of Aquarius. 15 degrees of Aquarius in particular, because that's where this new moon is happening. So if you have more planets there, if you have more placements there, or if it's set at your rising, your midheaven, your IC, or your descendant, it's going to have more meaning or significance at this new moon, right? So this is why it's nice to know your chart. You don't have to know your chart, though, to know that this new moon is a very powerful time to set intentions around your vision for yourself, but not only for yourself, but for the whole community, for the whole world. But really, right, we know that the change starts within. You know, that whole saying, be the change, right? And so at this new moon, knowing where 15 degrees of Aquarius is going to help you to understand what area of your life you're meant to plant seed, develop, really think about being a visionary. Now, when I say this, we're really wanting to look at 2019 and look at what your vision for yourself. We know a lot can change in a year. It goes by quickly, but a lot can change. And so when you think about this year for you, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your day-to-day to look like? Who do you want to affect change in? Who do you want to help? Who do you want to assist? Okay, so these are the questions that are all coming up around this new moon. And we have all planets direct, so it's a lot of forward momentum. Cause I know I'm saying your name wrong, it drives me crazy, but I love your name and I can't say it ever. Hi, Gaia, I can say your name. It's Kazia because I don't say your name enough, that's why. So I am on Facebook Live. If you're on live, hi, how are you? And I will have this also posted on my YouTube. So the new moon in Aquarius, looking at where in your chart 15 degrees of Aquarius is. Now we also have the sun and the moon. Whenever the sun and the moon come together on the same degree, that is a new moon, okay? Then 4 degrees later, which means a conjunction. Anytime any planet is within 10 degrees of the new moon, it's a conjunction. Anytime any planet's within 10 degrees of each other, it's called a conjunction. That means they're right next to each other. That means that they're aiding in the influence of this new moon, and Mercury's right there. So Mercury in Aquarius is all about forward thinking, aha moments, processing, needing to let your freak flag fly, being your own person, being a unique being, and really being able to express that, okay? Mercury is about expression and about consciousness and understanding and those kind of things, okay? Now, Uranus rules Aquarius, and Uranus is all about the aha moments, like the big breakthroughs. When we're in Capricorn time, we have our nose to the grindstone and we are working really hard on just practical things, practical matters, the earth, like working hard down here. And when Aquarius time comes in, it's like this uplifting, like, oh, wait a second. I didn't see all these things happening because I was looking down. And this is this whole thing about like when your head's down, you can like kind of be like ramming into a wall without seeing. In Aquarius time, we're able to see like, oh, that wall actually, if you walk around and go around that wall, there's a whole other area that you could be looking at. There's a whole other spacious room that you could be in instead of banging your head against this wall, okay? So Aquarius time comes in and says, hey, maybe you should change your vision, not your work. Maybe you should change the way you're thinking about things, not necessarily the things themselves, okay? So at this time, it's really important to be aware of what thought processes have been playing on repeat for you, where you notice you telling this story that isn't necessarily even true, okay? So that is Aquarius, though. Awakenings to the mind. Uranus is the great change maker, the great and sudden change maker. The other interesting thing happening here, so we have that conjunction between Mercury, which is bringing in the mental need to process, need to change the way we're thinking, our thought process and our communication. And then we also have Black Moon Lilith involved in this new moon, which Black Moon Lilith, if you don't know, I call her the ride or die in astrology. Wherever she is in your chart, she shows where your feminine power is, but also because feminine power is an uncomfortable thing in our society right now, how she can kind of go undercover, or she can reveal, because she's not safe to be fully out in your awareness. She can represent the shadow just because we're afraid to show that part of ourselves. So knowing about her can help a lot in relating to others, in your sexuality, in your personal power, okay? So she's involved in this new moon, and she's saying, hey, I know you guys think you're doing lots of things, but if you don't look at me, I'm going to make you look at me. And if you don't recognize the power of your own personal feminine, then I'm going to show you her power. And sometimes that's not in a comfortable way. Okay. So being aware of our words, being aware of any kind of, I don't want to use the word manipulation, but like, being aware of when we don't know how to express ourselves, we don't know how to say something, maybe going around and doing it in a passive-aggressive way. These are all the feminine ways that we discount our personal power instead of just saying the thing. And so that's really up and changing the way we communicate, changing the way that we do things. It's a powerful time to do that. So looking at your Aquarius house, where is this for you? Is it in your house of relationships? Is it in your house of work? Is it in your house of family? You know, it's important to know this, because wherever Aquarius is in your chart, it's going to show you the work in the community, but also where you need to be allowed to be a rebel. Okay. So, looking at where this is going to be important. If you don't know and you want to know, it's a great time to get a chart reading with me. My 2019 rates are going up, and today's the last day to lock in a reading with me or any kind of study with me for 2019, so you can schedule out for the year. But today's the day to do it if you want to get that same rate. And I am really 100% behind. I know, Gaia. It's so helpful, right? The rate change, I haven't changed my rates, I think in like 2 years. So I'm definitely feeling 100% like it's time, and also the value of the work. And this is also up in the astrology. So we have Venus, our value, our personal value, how we give and receive love, but resources, our time, our energy. Venus in Sagittarius is trining. Yay, I know, it is super powerful, is trining Uranus in Aries. So interesting, because Uranus is ruling this new moon, and then we have Uranus trining Venus, and Venus is about our love and our value, our personal value. And then in Sagittarius, a lot how we value our minds and our ability to teach and to lead, but also to be led and to learn. Okay, so we have this trine, and it's in fire, which is transformation. So Aries and Sagittarius are about transformation. So really being aware of what's transforming in your life and in those houses. So looking at your Aquarius house, also looking at your Aries and Sagittarius house. Okay, those three are going to be important for this new moon. So we have all that happening, and there's a lot of other things that I'm not going to go into in the chart for the new moon, but basically, it's a time frame where you want to be really visionary about your life, like I said. And, you know, I talk a lot about, I have a new moon meditation where you write out things, and I really do believe in the power of writing things out. But in particular with this new moon, one thing about Aquarius is it's a lot of intelligence and a lot of mental energy. And then with Mercury's influence, there's more of that mental energy. And so what I would really recommend is using that to create a vision on the internal, like really meditating, getting clear on how you want to feel, how you want your life to look like, and then bringing in those emotions. Because one of the things about Aquarius is they have a lot of big ideas. They have a lot of inventiveness and ways how things could be or should be. And yet it's sometimes harder to bridge into the body and bridge into the heart. And so I highly recommend, because Venus is influenced as well with the heart, to really think about how you want to feel, and then inviting in that emotion today, inviting in that emotion for the new moon, and really being aware of your, anything that keeps you from feeling those emotions that you want to feel, or feeling the way that you want to feel in your visionary life for yourself, okay? And the more that we're doing that, the more that we're working on the internal, the more we're helping the external world around us. And so sometimes it can get confusing where, I don't read the news anymore. And some people will say that that's selfish. And I have been called selfish lately a lot, but that's okay, because guess what? I'm able to help more people if I'm being really selfish with my energy, and if I'm really taking care of myself. I have a beacon of light that I can draw from because I'm tending to that light, instead of getting swept up into the drama and to the sadness of the world around me. We cannot show the way unless we are the way, right? We cannot make a new pathway. We cannot be a new pathway if we're just stuck in the suffering of the world. So even though that might seem selfish, I would encourage you to be selfish in 2019 and to also help people. So that's what my intuition is saying to tell you. And also with that, I also recommend thinking about organizations. So I don't read the news, but I look at organizations that are really trying to help communities, especially underrepresented communities. And then I try to donate resources, time, and money to those places, because guess what? That's going to help more than me reading the news and feeling sad and feeling darkness because of the dark things that have happened, okay? So anyway, long story short is do what feels right to you. Do what feels good to you. If it feels good to read the news, then do it. But I will say, if you want to be the change, we have to live the change. So let's try that. And along with that, Aquarius, we are in the age of Aquarius. And the age of Aquarius is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. The shadow to Aquarius energy is isolation. And the reason being is that it gets in the head a lot. Aquarius energy gets in the head a lot, and it forgets to bridge in the heart. And how do we experience the heart? It's with others. It's through relating to others. So don't forget how important it is to be around others, to get off of our screens and to actually sit and have coffee with someone, sit and have tea with someone, go for a walk with a friend, be around other beautiful beings, because then we can draw from each other's positivity and really create change. So I hope you guys have a beautiful new moon, and remember to set intention and to really be in a positive place when you set those intentions. Get in a meditative space. Aquarius is the air sign, and then Mercury rules Gemini, which is both air. So a lot of air, and so get outside, do meditation, feel the sun if you're somewhere, luckily, where the sun is shining. I am today, but in the next few days, hopefully we'll have more. I don't know if we are going to have more, but and to really feel into that levity, that lightness. And the other last thing I will say is that there's a lot of cardinal energy, and cardinal energy is initiating, starting energy, okay? So we have this beautiful ability to start new things. All planets are forward moving for February, okay? This is the time to move things forward. And then the beautiful thing with this new moon is that it's in a fixed sign. And the fixed sign in Aquarius means it's stubborn and it's gonna stick with it. So whatever intentions you set now, whatever motivations, whatever you're acting on, because we wanna not just set the intention, we wanna be the intention, right? We wanna be intentional. And when we're doing that, it's going to stick, because this is a very powerful time. So I want to remind you of that. Mercury rules Gemini. So Gaia, your sun sign is Gemini, and so you're ruled by Mercury. So one little thing is then to look to where Mercury is in your natal chart, because it's going to give more significance, because it's your sun sign. So it's like your sun sign is ruled by Mercury, and so your natal placement of Mercury is also important to look at. Okay, so like for me, it's kind of boring because I'm a Leo and Leo's ruled by the sun. So then I look to where my sun is. So my son's in Leo, like, you know, but I'm just saying, like, so let's see who else is on here. Cynthia, you are a Leo. Alicia, you're a Sagittarius, so you want to look to where your Jupiter is, your Jupiter natally. And then also with Sagittariuses, this year, Jupiter's in Sagittarius, huge expansion, right? Or if your moon or your sun or your rising or your midheaven is in Sagittarius, super powerful time. However, focus is required. Focus and intentional, like setting the intention for the day, each day, one task. Bing. Okay. Have a beautiful day, guys. I hope you enjoy this new moon, and please comment below if you have any questions about the new moon, and I look forward to hearing how it goes for you.